Click the links, join the channel here over at Subscribe. I got a mailbox. Want to mail me some comics by all means. So, Disney executive producer, and then the most important thing you see is representation was extremely. Oh, just stop. As soon as you see a line like that, you're like, oh, I can't roll my eyes anymore when I read something like that. It's just because it's in every freaking article. Why don't you just say we're gonna make globalist crap propaganda and you're going to hate it, and then when it comes out we're going to blame the audience for not liking, I don't know, whatever they're pushing in this, probably fat POCs if I remember right. So Disney Plus makes more crap, echoes in eternity of just dog shit. Welcome to the Panderverse. So the short version is what people were saying in the Twitter comments when they released the trailer, is it got like 40,000 likes for the trailer. That doesn't mean anything. And then in the comments, people are like, yeah, this show's gonna bomb. You know it's gonna bomb. Everyone knows it's gonna bomb. Disney knows it's gonna bomb unless they're so high on their own supply. So there's a guy in the comment section who says, this show has everything he wants. So Marvel fans have no excuse. He was Pox himself. The trailer literally has an evil blonde man making fun of a deaf Pox girl, because in the big city, we all know that you really need to fear the evil blonde men, especially the evil blonde men who run hot dog carts and make fun of disabled or girls with disabilities, pox girls with disabilities, because it's usually, people like me who are committing that kind of hatred in the big city. But it's doesn't that but shh, just accept it. Just could you show someone other than someone who looks like me being just cruel, malicious, and stupid? What are you, some kind of istophobe? That doesn't make any sense, but it does to them. Um, hey Disney, why didn't you make the trailer with the guy and the hot dog who's making fun of the POC? Why didn't you make him something other than someone who looks like me? Black, Middle Eastern, Chinese, just something other than someone who's a character that's meant to portray a vaguely European, fair-skinned person who's just being malicious, cruel, and stupid, who's mocking a deaf girl who's using sign language to try to communicate something to them. Which, now that I think about it, is kind of stupid, because I mean, the sign language to someone who doesn't speak ASL is just you're just indicating to them that you're not going to use you're deaf, but it doesn't mean that they're going to understand whatever. They did that. Because they specifically wanted to make him white man bad. They want to focus all their hatred every single time on people who look like you and I, and never on someone who's clearly not European. And you see what happens. It's stochastic terrorism with Audrey Hale. Her manifesto came out the other day, and you see how that brainwashing works on people. I did a video for that for Subscribestar and Odyssey. Really makes you think. Really makes you think what these fomenters of discord, these machinators, is that a word, are doing behind the scenes. So anyway, this chubby POC girl in the trailer has to commit horrific acts of violence against other blonde men in the big city because Disney really wants you to hate blonde men for some wacky reason. The whole trailer is just violence against blonde people. What do people really want in their superhero shows? Well, what they really want, what the male audience, the people of the light audience, really wants, the blonde audience, the male blonde audience, what they really want, they want POCs, chubby POCs, fighting evil blonde-haired, blue-eyed men who look like them, because that's been selling so well in the past. Actually, I can't tell what she is. She looks kind of like a chubby south of the border type, but maybe she's Elizabeth Warren Indian, so who knows with that. So what happened is they took a comic book character and they made a Disney Plus affirmative action Mary Sue fighting the evil German stand-in. Oh, and this is Bounty in the Comics new layout, which I absolutely hate. Hopefully they change it back. But they change her powers from the comic book for some reason, and they focus on a girl power story about her emotions. Because why not? Probably on how much she hates blonde-haired, blue-eyed men while secretly wanting to bang them, because that's actually a thing with it's funny, like AOC and Rashida, who's those bunch of weirdos in Congress, and you look at they're like all these super anti-whites, and then you look at their husbands and their boyfriends, you're like, but I can't help but notice this guy's blonde-haired, blue-eyed, or red-haired, green-eyed. Yeah, well, yeah, well, kind of weird. It's just, I mean, this almost feels like a a fetish at this point. Anyway, so the show is an exploration of trauma, which sounds fucking horrible. Probably the trauma of how much she hates those evil European people. So this is a smaller scale show about a chubby pox girl named after the comic book, but it doesn't have anything to do with the comic book, so it's just a bait and switch. Yeah, that's pretty much what all of Hollywood is now. It's all bait and switch. They get you on the name recognition. Oh, cool, Star Wars. I kind of remember that from the original Star Wars. Yeah. But this got this Mary Sue character, and there's like horses in space, and Rose Tico. Like, this doesn't look like Star Wars. Hugo Boss says what? Yeah, Lord of the Rings. Yeah, cool books, cool movies. Peter Jackson really knocked it out of the park. Oh, yeah, this is Rings of Power. Oh, this is, Lord of the Rings, right? You're gonna stick to the artist's original intent, original vision. Not exactly. Istophobe says what? How dare you want what Tolkien originally put out? This shit is so tiresome. Anyway, this doesn't seem like it has much to do with the comic book, and the producer is half Indian, half Scottish, and trans. So the show is going to be absolutely painfully unwatchable. You'd have to Clockwork Orange the audience to get them to watch. But everything Disney does sucks. So why would this be any different? Oh, the Marvels is coming out. It's coming out this Friday, which is the 10th. But I think some places have early releases Wednesday and Thursday, so I am so excited to go out and see that. Wow, take notes for it. Anyway, so this show is made with representation being very important to them. Representation of whom? Whomst? The non-existent... Shoe on Head on Twitter. Wow, she is getting spicy these days. It's weird to watch like these left-wingers kind of grow up. So the non-existent audience, and let me predict that this will be the lowest Disney Marvel streaming show to date. Disney and Marvel has a whole lot of, or Disney in general has a whole lot of streaming shows, because it's not just the Marvel stuff that sucks, it's also the Disney stuff that's not doing too well. And the next thing you know, they'll come out with like a Pirates of the Caribbean streaming or Indiana Jones streaming. I can guarantee you they'll race swap everyone else in there, and it'll just be effing cancer like everything they do. What they should do with this is fire the producer and get a man in there, preferably blonde, maybe German, then swap out the POC girl and swap in a beautiful, skinny Swedish girl. Representation is also important for the Germans and the Swedish. Anyway, when you say representation, people immediately tune out, because that just means anti-white globalist propaganda, because that's what it always is. And this crap is not happening in a vacuum. There's a lot of other things going on. People are becoming aware of this kind of stuff. Hollywood, Disney especially, is very firmly anti-white. People know what is going to be offered from Disney and Hollywood in general. So this show sounds really stupid, but to be fair, the comic was also really stupid also. All the bad characters in the comic were blonde-haired and insanely violent sociopaths, and there was a Christian priest in the comic who was actually a Satanist. And it's weird how many times I've seen that trope of the Christian priest and the, what do you call that? Church. I don't forget the name of church. There'll be like satanic temples or something, and it'll be, oh, aren't we so edgy? We're going after Christians. Yeah, you could go after Jews or Muslims that look at you like, what, are you crazy? Dude, we're not going to do that. Christians are powerless. Yeah, but it makes it kind of tired when like every joke is going after everything, every trope is going after Christians. There was a comedian on stage who was doing that, and it was some kind of show where Norm Macdonald was in the audience. He was one of the judges, and he was pointing that out, like the comedian who thinks he's so edgy going after like Christians, and Norm's like, but that's the only group you're allowed to go after. It's not funny, and it wasn't funny. It was just more of the same. It might have been funny to like a college student or something who's, virtue signaling, laughing, but it's not legitimately funny. Anyway, the thing is, most people really have no idea how anti-white or anti-Christian comics are. Where I can't tell you how many comics I've read where the bullies in high school type of things, they're either blonde or red hairs, and they're picking on little POC kids. And you read that, like, even as a kid, you read that and you're like, dude, what's the color of the sky in your world? And the thing is, I would love to have a YouTube channel and point this kind of stuff out, but it would be demonetized, and then it'd just be kicked off, because YouTube just doesn't want that kind of stuff covered on YouTube. Anyway, I hope there's a new platform out there. Odyssey might be changing hands because the Security and Exchange Commission and their library token is causing them some issues, and Rumble's on the App Store, so they're not a free speech network. And I mean, maybe Twitter will have a video platform type of thing coming out soon. Or if Gab TV gets a live stream platform, that will probably be where a lot of like more free speech content goes. Anyway, so dear comics and movies, you can make non-whites the bad guys. You can make a synagogue or a mosque the place of evil if you wish. Literally, not everything has to be blonde-haired, blue-eyed Christian bad. And when you say that, they look at you as if you're crazy, but we're not. We're normal, and these are the completely mental people. But that's Marvel. That's Disney. So the show, I can promise you, will be watched by nobody. It arrives on January 10th, and I ask, why bother? There's no way you'll get your money out of it. I don't know what a budget for this kind of show would be per episode. I think Amanda was pretty expensive. Something like this, I suspect, is going to be on the budget. You're trying to sell to your audience a chubby POC girl with an anti-white narrative to an audience that doesn't exist. Listen, Hugo Boss, how do you know that this is going to be anti-white? Because literally everything from Disney is, and that's the future of Hollywood. There's no turning back. This is a one-way journey into probably the collapse of Hollywood. You're going to see a restructuring of Hollywood, I think, a much smaller scale Hollywood maybe. Because I just imagine they're just going to start bleeding, or they already have been bleeding the audience, where what they do in the theaters is they charge more per ticket, so it becomes sort of a, I don't know, like the theaters of old, more like theater, where you're paying much more for tickets, and it's just a smaller audience that goes to see it and support it, which is kind of has been going on recently, because it just doesn't appeal to most people to see this kind of stuff. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next episode.